Welcome, everybody, to the Consciousness Express podcast. I'm your host, Sam Berry, and we're back for another episode. Welcome back. What a gift to be here with you guys. Another week of being on this beautiful planet in a beautiful body. Yeah. Episode 13 today, guys. Woof. Flying through them. We're flying through space together through consciousness. This is the consciousness spaceship. We're going through the universe, through space, to find some extraterrestrial beings, or to have sex with. To say hello to. There's Pluto. Oh my gosh. Oh, now first we're going to stop at Uranus. Okay. Anyways, I'm back. I'm back. Today, guys, we're going to talk about you are not your parents. Ta-da! You are not your parents. Oh my gosh. What a epiphany that you are you. How weird. And so, I want to look at today how much you're creating yourself as your parents rather than yourself. How often were you told as a kid that you're just like your mum or you're just like your dad? And how much are you just like them now? When we're told that as a kid, we buy that as true. Oh, I must just be like my mum or I must just be like my dad. So then, I'm going to mimic my parents then and begin to create and take on their points of views, their pains, their sufferings, their realities, their pathways, their everything as my own because, I'm just like my dad. And I'm going to begin to look like him too and turn my body into him or turn my body into my mum and become just like my mum. Because that's what everybody says, and that's what my parents said. I'm just like mum. And look, you might have a mum or dad that you really want to be like. And there's no right or wrong to this. If that's what works for you, choose it. If you would like to create yourself and who you are authentically, and to see what is possible for who you could be and what your body could be, then we've got to start to go beyond our parents and what their points of views were and are and how their body is, and everywhere we've locked the pains of their bodies into our bodies, where we've chosen to create our lives from their points of views, where we've chosen to create our lives from what makes them happy and their expectations and projections of us, and where we still function from needing to gain approval from our parents and letting that be an influential factor in what we choose. Because how many of you are choosing for you versus how many of you are choosing for your parents still in order to be liked by them or approved by them or to get them to love you? And you're still trying to get, maybe you had parents that just didn't give you the love that you wanted as a kid, and you're still trying to get that love from them. And then what's happening is you're choosing partners that are like your parents in order to get them to love you the way that your parents didn't love you. And then you're creating your partners to be like your parents. How much of your relationship is like your parents? How much is your partner just like your mom or just like your dad? So we want to start to create our reality, guys. We want to start to create our relationships. We want to start to create our bodies from what we would like to have, we would like to create. Like, what would you like to create as your life? What would you like to create as your body? What would you like to create as your relationships? You know, how much do you have the same mannerisms as your mum or dad, or the same body pains, or the same points of views, or the same problems as them? You know, when we don't create our bodies, we will biomimetically mimic our parents. We will biomimetically mimic their realities, their relationships, their pains, their sufferings, their pathways, all of that. If we don't get conscious and start to choose for us what we would like to have. And what also happens is we're trying to heal our parents too. It's a big one, sometimes your dad might have a back pain, and as a kid you go, I don't like seeing my dad in back pain, so I'm going to try and take on the pain for him to heal him so he doesn't have to be in pain because I can do it. And then you take on back pain and then get stuck with the back pain that's not yours because you can't change anything that's not yours, guys. So, how much of what you're trying to change in your life that you haven't been able to change is not yours to begin with? It's your parents. There's a tool I want to give you guys today, which is a tool of access consciousness. And the tool is who does this belong to? And how you use this tool is for any point of view you have, any feeling, thought, emotion, pain, whatever. Who you ask the question, who does this belong to? And if the space around you, the energy feels lighter, it's not yours. If it feels heavy, how did I create this? Did I pick this up and buy this as my own? You can ask more questions. But be in question with all your points of views. Is this mine? Who does this belong to? And look, you might not get the awareness that it is your mum or your dad's. It might be someone completely different. You might not get an awareness that it's a specific person's. You've just picked it up. This tool is to set you free from 99% of your problems. 99% of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions that you believe are yours that are not. So when you ask the question, who does this belong to? You go, you might get, okay, let's for example say, oh, it's my dad's. You've got the back pain. You go, wait, who does this? I've had this back pain for so long, and I've been able to do nothing with it. I haven't been able to change it. Because if there's something you've been trying to change in your reality for 3 to 6 months plus years, then that's not yours. It's why you can't change it. So ask the question, who does this belong to? And then when you get the awareness, oh, it's not mine. It's my dad's. Or it might just be like, you might just get the awareness, it's not mine. Okay. Return to sender with consciousness attached. Life doesn't need to be as hard as we make life. There's tools out there to help you navigate life with way more ease. This is one of them. And so then you go about creating your reality. Okay, well, if this back pain's not mine, then well, how much more ease could I have with my body? You know, how much have I been trying to heal my dad? And what if I gave that? What if I didn't need to heal my dad anymore? What if I gave that up? Am I willing to give that up? Or am I still trying to save him? Am I still trying to heal him, as an example? Because you can also look in your intimate relationship and how much you're trying to heal your parents through your intimate partner. So yeah, you really got to start to look at like what is your body, what is your relationship, what is your reality beyond your parents. Because they might have a point of view that money is hard. You grow up and you're around. Because the thing is, like, from like 0 to 7, you pick up all your parents' points of views, and then they become the points of views you live with and get stuck with as an adult. That create the limitations because they aren't your points of views, they're your parents' points of views, and you're trying to live as if though they are your points of views and wondering why life is hard, why you're suffering so much, why you can't change the things that you know you could change, that should be able to change, that why you can't have the possibilities show up that you know are possible to be showing up because you're functioning from a reality that's not yours. And it's never going to work for you because it's not your reality. You're not going to be able to change it. So again, coming back to this tool, if it is this belong to, it allows you to free yourself from the points of views that are not yours, so that you can then go and create your reality, which your reality has a lot more ease. It has a lot more things that work for you. It has a lot more possibilities that work for you, that show up for you, because it's your reality. You're creating it now, not the reality of your parents that most people get stuck in creating, which they never are able to truly create. They just get stuck creating the same reality as their parents. And so if your parents had the point of view and you grew up, because, as a kid, like I was saying, you pick up all your points of views and you pick up energies. As a kid, less is cognitive and more is energetic. So all your parents' judgments, how they engage with each other, energetically as a kid, you're picking all that up. So if they are in conflict with each other all the time, if they neglect each other, if they don't treat each other nicely, if they're in a sexless relationship, they have any of that, you're picking that up energetically as a kid. And so example would be like, if your parents were always complaining about money and that money's hard, you pick that up as a kid and go, yeah, money's hard. And then you function as if money's hard. Whereas you go, well, wait a second. What's my point of view with money? What's my reality with money? And go on that journey of discovering your reality with money. Because, again, just because it's their point of view doesn't mean it needs to be your point of view. You may have had a single mum and she hated men. And then as a daughter, you were like, yeah, men suck. Or as a son, you were like, oh, something must be wrong with me because mum hates men. And then you have all these points of views that you create from that and pick up from her from that. It might be that, your parents are in a sexless relationship and you've picked that up too, where you don't ever explore that area of your life because you're functioning from your parents' sex life. How many of you have the same sex life as your parents? Or would you like to create something different? You might have the same judgments that your parents have of themselves because you've picked up their judgments and brought them as your own, but it's the judgments they have of themselves. It might be love, like how much are you mimicking your parents' love and how they loved each other, and that was conflict or neglect or mistreatment or whatever it was. I mean, you may have been blessed with beautiful parents that were conscious and loving and conceived you in a conscious way and all that sort of stuff. And that's beautiful. If you grew up in a household where it wasn't that, and there was a lot of conflict, there was a lot of potentially abuse, there was a lot of judgment, a lot of mistreatment of each other, a lot of all that sort of stuff, then what can happen is how you receive love and choose to love is based off that. So if you grew up in a household where giving each other the silent treatment was a way that you thought was how you love each other, then in your relationship, you're most likely going to give your partner silent treatment because, well, that's what you grew up with. Or it might be like you are mean to each other all the time because you grew up in a household where everyone was mean to each other and that was love to you. And so you can only receive love how it was at home growing up. Maybe you had to fight for attention. Maybe the only time your parents gave you attention when there was something wrong or you had a problem or you were upset. And so you realized, okay, well, if there's not something wrong with me, if I'm not upset, then I don't get any attention from my parents. And I want their attention because I want their love, because I want to have love for my parents. So then I always got to have something wrong with me so that they'll give me attention. That's me receiving love. And so then you go into adulthood, and so you're like, okay, well, the way I received love, because how I received love as a kid was from having problems and a wrongness of me, then I'm going to continue that in my other relationships. And then you can see what happens. So we have to bring awareness into all of this, and we have to start to go beyond our childhood and our parents and how we were raised and their points of views and all of that to actually create a life that works for us, a relationship that works for us, a relationship that's going to nurture us and expand us. And this takes work, and it takes a whole lot of vulnerability and leaning into the discomfort of it all, because your nervous system is going to be wired to certain things. So if you grow up in a household of conflict and intensity like that, then your nervous system's wired to feel familiar and at home in conflict. So it's always that's its home. So it's always going to want to have conflict because that's what's familiar for it. So when it's not conflict and it's peace and it's nurturing and it's easy, it's unfamiliar. Your nervous system's like, oh no, this isn't right. This isn't right. Oh, I need conflict. So we have to do nervous system work to be able to receive beyond our childhood, beyond the love, beyond whatever happened to us as a kid. Um, breath is the easiest one. Just become more conscious of your breath through every moment of the day. And then when things arise, breathe through it, open into it, don't shy away from it. Yeah, so you can have something greater. Others, you can always be like, why am I still attracting the same kind of person? Why am I still having the same kind of relationship? Blah, 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 blah. Poor me. It's like, okay, bring awareness, do nervous system work, get uncomfortable, and open your heart through the discomfort and the pain and receive. Receive, 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 receive. So, who would you like to be? What would you like to create? What relationship would you like to create? What relationship can you have? What body can you create? And what would be possible for you if you chose to create you? If you chose to go beyond your parents? Because you are not your parents, you are you. So, who are you? Go on that journey. So, yeah, nice and quick one for you guys today. I have a class coming up May 6th, which is called Positive Mind, Powerful Life. It's going to be 9 tools to help you overcome the negativity trap, the negative thoughts. So if you're someone that gets stuck looping on negative thoughts, always thinking about the worst in things, and in judgment of yourself, you just feel like you're at the effect of negativity and it drains your energy, and you would like something different, I'll put the link in the show notes and come along. It's 2-hour class, $50 AUD. And yeah, we're going to change your reality with negativity. So you can begin to have a different reality for yourself. But you don't have to be at the effect of your mind and negativity anymore. So come along, guys. Come see me in persona. As always, you can follow me on socials at EarthSamLove on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. My website, earthsamlove.com. And my membership group, guys, The Wilds of Consciousness, which is twoc.card.co, card having 2 R's in it. But all that will be in the show notes, and I will see you guys here next week for another episode of Dragon Ball Z. Alright. Until then, peace, love, and fruit.